Kia ora. Um, I know I've spoken about this before. I know I've spoken about it loads on X and Instagram, because when my son originally had the Spider King dream, he was talking about Donald Trump. We thought we were talking about Donald Trump when him and I were working on the Spider King dream. We thought we were talking about Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump in the dream. However, now events have turned. I thought maybe it might have been Nayib Bukele, because that all fit. And then I thought it might have been Vladimir Putin, because that fit as well. It could have fit as well. But the more I think about it, the more and more and more and more I think about it, the more I think the Spider King dream is about King Charles and everything Donald Trump has tried to do to destroy the king. Because in his dream, it starts out with the man in the cave making up fake posters and accusing Donald Trump of making the posters when he didn't. And it was all to do with the making of fake posters, i.e. fake news, making up fake news and blaming it on Trump and saying no, like that's all Trump's fault. That was the dream. And then the Secret Service saying to me and my boys, can you get the king to? Can you get Trump to the White House, and hide him in the fake White House until the coast is clear or something, and then we had to get Trump to this fake White House, and then he got chased by all these spider minions. And then when we finally got him to the actual White House, there was a skeleton of a woman outside the house, which he said was Hillary Clinton. But now I'm starting to wonder, because he said she was blonde. And he said Hillary Clinton. He said she was blonde, and he said it was Hillary Clinton. But if you look at this from the King's perspective, and with everything that I uncovered about Donald Trump and Princess Diana, the skeleton outside of the White House could have been Princess Diana. And then the minions came and they all got killed, I think. Gabriel and other people were killing all the minions that were trying to get into the White House, and Thomas and I were in Donald Trump's bedroom, and the Spider King got into Trump's bedroom, and Thomas threw me a fire extinguisher, and I threw it into the mouth of the Spider King just as it was about to crawl onto Trump's bed, who was terrified, cornered in the bed. And then I threw the fire extinguisher in the spider's mouth, and then I had a rifle and I shot it and blew up the Spider King, and he blew up into 1,000 pieces. And then a lawyer came, and a lawyer came with my husband at the time. In the dream, it was Martin. He said he dumped him and said that Trump was so proud of my work, he was giving us money in this house, and he was making all of our dreams come true, and blah blah blah, and that we were free to go and yada yada. But if you look at it the way that with everything I've uncovered, I'm wondering whether the Spider King isn't King Charles. I'm wondering whether the Spider King isn't Trump and Trump is King Charles. Because that's exactly what they did. They made up all that conspiracy theory stuff, the whole Epstein stuff, the whole Illuminati thing to set up the Queen. Q have admitted that they stole money from the Queen and that their plan was to like blackmail the Queen and blame the Queen for a lot of things. And now with this announcement that Trump's come out saying that he's going to end the Federal Reserve and like give the money, transfer the wealth back to the American people and turn everything digital, by the way, in order to do it, it's like, well, if America's so many hundreds of trillions in debt, where is the money coming from that he's getting from all the Americans? And then it's like, well, he's got Britain's gold and he's got America's gold. So it's everything that I said, where they've stolen the gold and they're going to use it to pay themselves off. They're going to give, the American people a little bit of money, and then they're going to keep the rest for themselves and then trap everyone in, I will pay you this money, but you have to collect it from our digital banks. In order to collect this money, you have to sign up to, then because the people that say, well, no, I'm not doing that, then they get all that free money, don't they? So they're stealing Britain. Basically, any country that has sent their gold to America, that gold is going to be used to pay off their debts and pay Americans. So every other person in the world whose country has invested their gold in America has handed over their sovereign wealth to basically give Americans a few, what was it, $5,000 each or something, didn't he say? And the rest of the world are going to pay for it through the stolen gold and silver that was being tracked, being moved to America at the time of the Super Bowl, within the weeks leading up to and after. So basically the British and every other country that's sent their gold to America is going to be paying for Americans to go digital with a few grand in their bank, and are going to be paying off America's debt to other countries, basically. By the way, I am not suicidal. I never have been suicidal. I never will be suicidal. I am trying to protect my king and his country, even though they did nothing to protect me. But I have to do the right thing. I have to trust my intuition. I have to trust my codes. I have to trust what I've been saying. And I am genuinely very concerned about the future of the monarchy at this point, especially now that Trump and Starmer have been in the same room together. I'm not suicidal. I never have been suicidal. If anything happens to me, it will be because of Donald Trump, because he likes to kill people who get in his way. And I think when they realised back in my blog days that I was starting to figure things out, I became a very real threat. But what's the easiest way to do that other than try and kill me in a way that doesn't look suspicious? What would that be? Drug addiction, suicide, accident, disease? Or get me locked up for a crime I didn't commit, or have me locked up for mental health reasons. Either way, it doesn't matter. I don't care, because I know I die of old age. I'm not worried about it. My faith in God is unbreakable now. All I care about is protecting Vladimir Putin in Russia and my king and Great Britain. That's all I care about. And as long as I can do those two things in my lifetime, if they're the only other things I ever get to do in my lifetime, then I don't care. Because I believe with every fibre of my being that the royal family have been set up since before Tony Blair, but especially since Tony Blair, that they've been set up to take the fall for all the crimes that they're committing behind closed doors, from the death of Princess Diana to the death of the Queen, to the stealing of the gold, to the dismantling of the church, to the dismantling of civility and human rights and all of that. They want to be able to blame the king for it. They want people to be so angry at the king that they decide that they don't want a king anymore, like in Portugal in 1910 when they decided that they were no longer going to have a royal family. Just like in Portugal, that's what they are aiming to do here, and I'm trying to stop that with every fibre of my being. I can't have that because I keep having dreams, and these codes keep coming through from the Queen, and she keeps begging me not to give up hope. Don't give up on her son, she keeps begging me. So, as a mum, you do whatever you have to do to protect your children, especially if it means coming back from the dead, if you believe in that sort of stuff. For me, it's breaking the laws of physics. So I can't give up to my last breath. I have to protect the king. And I just keep thinking that now that everything's flipped, now that reality's flipped, all the Spider King stuff is about Donald Trump going after King Charles. And he's literally in Great Britain at the moment. He's almost virtually been in the king's bedroom. You know, like he's that close. Danger is that close to my king. The traitor, the con man, the swindler, the liar, the thief, the murderer is that close to my king. He is the devil and Starmer is his minion. The spiders, the minion spiders in the Spider King dream will be people like Starmer and all the ones that are helping Donald Trump try and take the monarchy down. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. The EU, the UK, America, Canada, the Commonwealth, they're all working together to try and take the king down. And now it's obvious. Like it can't even be denied. All the stuff that I've been saying, all the stuff I said was coming, all the stuff I said they were doing behind closed doors ended up to be 100% spot on. I just need to try and make sure that the king knows it. Trying to wake the king up. And sometimes he does things that makes it look like he's figured it out. But then it's like, well, Starmer's still in power, so when Starmer's not in power, then I'll know he's woken up. And I know I know it's coming. I know it's coming. The codes haven't changed. The codes haven't changed, and the codes keep saying that the king is going to make a public announcement and announce that he is shutting Starmer's government down. It's never changed. These codes have never changed. So it's just a waiting game. And I just keep putting it out there and putting it out there and putting it out there and putting it out there. Just keep hoping and praying and hoping and praying and hoping and praying that somebody takes it to the king, that somebody investigates it, that somebody out there investigates it. The missing gold. Where is the missing gold? Where is Britain's gold? Where is the king's gold? If someone can just investigate it, if someone can invest the vaccination claims about the Queen, if someone can just look into this stuff, I think they're going to realise how close they came to successfully destroying the British monarchy. While blaming it on the monarchy, which is exactly what Chris and that's exactly what they tried to do to me. Blame the victim. Commit the crime, blame the victim, make the victim look guilty. That's their MO. That's what they do. They commit the crimes and then they blame the innocent to look guilty. Because that's what they do, and I think they're trying to do it with the king, so I have to put it out there, even though I know I'm at great risk doing it. I have to do it. I have to do it because I just keep hoping and praying that somebody out there's going to listen, and they'll finally be able to catch them. They'll finally be able to get the bad guys. So I'm going to call this video, Where is Britain's Gold? Where is the gold? And if anything happens to me, it was Donald Trump and Keir Starmer.